Hello and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, yogis. Welcome to our yin yoga practice. So for our yin yoga practice, we're really going to slow down the body and the mind. We're going to lean into some long, deep holds. I recommend that you have some props available. You may want a blanket, blocks, and a bolster or a big pillow, firm pillow. And let's start today's practice in a seated position. Know that you can utilize your props in any way that feels good in your body. My name is Jill Entiknap. I am the lead trainer and founder of Yogi Institute, an online yoga school and studio. And I'm really happy to be here with you right now. Let's go ahead and settle ourselves in. Closing down the eyes, flipping the palms, palm facing down, and letting your awareness ground down into your connection between the floor and your sit bones, and then lengthen from those sit bones all the way through the crown of the head, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. And let's let our awareness settle into our breath. Feeling into the inhale as it expands, feeling all of the parts of the body that are connected to that inhale, and feeling into the release or the surrender of the body on the exhale. Feel that inhale, expand, and exhale, release. In our yin yoga practice, we really slow down and create the space to connect and observe the mind-body connection. So how does that work? We come into postures, we feel into any sensation in the shape of the body, and we observe what's connected to that sensation. Are there thoughts? Are there feelings? As we settle into stillness in each pose, the mind is able to really focus and shine that light of awareness into the area of the body that is feeling sensation. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose, send the breath into the belly, fill the lungs, fully expand, pause at the top. Open mouth, exhale, breathe it out. 2 more, big breath in. Full breath out. 1 more, big breath in. And full breath out. Bringing your lips to press, activating that ujjayi breath, inhales and exhales through the nose. Can gently press your tongue against the roof of your mouth to create some restriction in the back of your throat. If you can hear yourself breathing, that's perfect. That is the ujjayi breath. We'll utilize that breath as we come into our postures, letting the breath be steady, letting the mind be still. Setting that intention for our practice to slow down the body and the mind. Our first pose, sorry, honey. Oh, we're going to take our bolster across our mat. Ruby really wants to do this pose too. Sorry, honey, come here. I know. Bring the hips down onto the bolster. Let the hands stack on top of one another and let the forehead rest on the hands. And the focal point here is to really relax through the low back. Start to become aware of the breath. You can release any tension in the body that there is. So maybe the ankles kind of fall out. Feel the belly press into the bolster or the pillow, whatever you have available to you. And then feel the body sink and release into the bolster or the pillow. In this moment, consciously give the body permission to relax and consciously give the mind permission to slow down, settling in, focusing on the practice, focusing in, settling on the body. The low back is an area where we can hold a lot of tension. So just see if you can allow the body to sink into the floor more and more, letting go. Let's take the right temple, bring it down onto the hands. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then let's switch out the neck. Bring the left temple down, gazing to the opposite side. Few deep breaths here. Bring the head back through center. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing the upper body up, sinking the hips back to the heels as you bring the big toes to touch. Bring the knees out wider. Take that bolster, bring it out in front of you, tuck it right in between the legs, and let the upper body come down, finding that bolster for our supported child's pose. You can start with the right ear down, Sink the hips back. It's your choice if you have a bend in the elbows or you send those arms forward. And let's stay connected to that Ujjayi breath, letting the breath draw us back into our practice, back into this shape in the body. Slowing down the body, slowing down the mind, allowing ourselves to use the breath to connect to the present moment, inviting in a feeling of calm, inviting in an awareness of presence. Let's switch to the opposite ear, down on the bolster, balancing out the neck. Taking a few more deep breaths here. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press the upper body up. Let's move that bolster pillow out of the way. Come back into a seated position. Cross-legged, you may want to have your blocks handy on either side. And let's start with the left foot on the bottom and lift the right leg. Let's take that right leg and cradle it as we bring some movement into the right hip, just shifting that leg from side to side. See if you can parallel the left leg, the bottom leg, to the front of your mat, the side of your mat, and then bring that right leg over top, stacking the legs on top of one another. You may want to bring your blocks underneath the hip or the knee, if it doesn't kind of land there. And this is called 90-90. You can even use your hands to kind of stabilize that top leg. Let's get nice and tall through the crown of the head. I invite you here to close down your eyes and just notice and observe the sensation through the right hip. Bring your awareness back to your breath and let's breathe into whatever that sensation is. As you settle into stillness and connect to your breath, letting your awareness be on the sensation and noticing how the sensation changes or how the same sensation is affected by the deep breath in and the full breath out. Deep breath in Full breath out. Let your hands plant behind your back, stabilizing the body. Take that right leg and let's just pedal out that leg, bringing some mobility into the hip. Take the soles of the feet together, knees come out wide, and let's take a moment and flutter out the knees. And then take that right foot across along the bottom as we switch to the opposite side, cradling the left leg from the elbow to the elbow, bringing that mobility in, shifting from side to side, wherever that range of motion is in your body. And then see if you can parallel that shin to the front part of the mat and then bring the left leg on top. You can always use the block to support the knee if there's a lot of space there, totally okay. You're wanting to find a posture that you can sustain for a time and connect to the breath. Sustaining the pose in stillness. Maybe you use your hands to kind of hold that leg in place. Just creating a little bit more stability, a little bit more structure, more awareness. Let the mind sink into the breath. Let the mind sink into the sensation. When we hold our yin postures for these longer periods of time, we create the space and the time for the body to relax more into the pose. So you may find that at some point in the pose, there is a physical kind of release or surrender of the sensation. It's very interesting when it happens because it's not something that's mindfully intentional. It's something that naturally happens in the body. And let's plant the hands slightly back. Come bring that left leg Press that leg forward. Bring the soles of the feet back together. Take a moment. Pedal out the knees, flap out the knees. And let's tuck the blocks underneath the knees. Maybe you have blankets, maybe you have pillows. Just bring some support into the knees. Get nice and tall, maybe shifting from side to side, really grounding down into the sit bones, lengthen through the spine, and let's hinge forward from the hips, maybe bringing the hands out in front of you. I invite you here to close down your eyes and reconnect to the breath, reconnect to the stillness. Let your mind be present, be focused on the breath. Surrender to whatever that sensation is that you're feeling. Give the body permission to release and relax. Keeping the knees the same, take the hands behind the body, plant the hands down, draw the shoulder blades together. You can lift your gaze toward the ceiling. Let the knees fall wide. Few more deep breaths here. Press the torso back through center. Use the hands to guide the knees back together. Plant the feet on the floor, hip width distance. You can let those hands come out for stability and gently windshield wiper out the knees, shifting the knees from side to side. Come back through center. Remove the props from the mat as we come down onto our backs. Moving slowly, intentionally, come all the way down. Let the spine come down onto the floor. Let's take a moment to draw the knees into the chest, wrapping the hands around the knees. Gently rock from right to left. See if you can tuck that tailbone under, removing the arch from the low back, and extend your legs straight up toward the ceiling, flipping your palms, palm facing down by your side. There can be as much of a bend in the knees as feels right for your body. See if you can just allow the legs to just, the feet to just kind of hang. Let the body sink into the floor. And when you feel ready to lower the legs, feel free to lower the legs all the way down to the floor. If you want to stay in this inverted position for a little bit longer, feel free to do that. After this posture, we'll be settling into that final resting pose. And you're really looking for a shape in your body that allows you for the most relaxation. So for some people, that is legs extended flat on your back. For some people, that's actually uncomfortable. So you may want to try maybe bringing the soles of the feet together or bending into the knees and bringing the feet wide, knees together. Find a position from your back that you can feel really comfortable and relaxed in. And then allow your awareness to settle back into your breath, feeling the body press the mat away on the inhale and feeling the body sink into the floor on the exhale. Letting the breath move through the body, allowing for that focus and observation. Letting the body be still and slowing down the mind. Let's take 5 more rounds of breath here. And then let's draw the knees back into the chest, wrap the hands around the knees, rock gently from right to left. Grab the backs of the legs or press yourself up. Let's seal our practice in our easy seat, that same posture that we started today's class in. You can tuck your chin to your chest and bring your palms through heart center. Taking a moment to honor your body, honor your mind, honor your emotions. and honor anything that came to the surface of your awareness throughout today's practice, throughout today's class. It isn't always easy to slow down in our modern day society. Everything is so fast paced. But when we create the time and the space for us to slow down the body and the mind, when we create the space to observe, when we create the space to connect between the body, mind, and emotions, we cultivate more calm and more peace within. So just know that your practice is always here for you to cultivate that, to slow down, to get still, to observe. Thank you so much for being here today, for sharing in this space and allowing me to share this practice with you. It is always my honor. The light, the love, the wisdom in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages the light, the love, the wisdom in you. Namaste. If you enjoyed this class, please subscribe, follow, like, favorite, depending on where you're watching. I hope to see you again on your mats very, very soon. Know that you can come back to this class at any time. It is always here for you, just like your yoga practice is always here for you. Until we meet again, may your light be your guide.